Hello? Nah, no, not right now. Actually, I'm just recording the match review. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, if you want, yeah, it'll be out later. I mean, it's probably not going to be that great, but yeah. Oh, okay. All right. Okay. The following podcast contains some strong language and some very average opinions. Any references to actual people are wildly inaccurate. It's probably best if you don't listen at all. The Roaring Peacock Podcast. Welcome back to the Roaring Peacock Podcast. This is the match review of Wolves. Most boring, dullest, shitty, time-wasting bastards won. Leeds United, greatest team in the world, champion of magic football, most entertaining team to watch, and saviours of the Premier League, 0.
Amen.
Welcome. My name is Adonis, and you know me as @theadelites on Twitter. It's a very good hello from me. And our chairman of the board, @Wiggy1234, is here with us.
Hello.
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 And @Sam Ward LUFC is here as well.
Hello, everybody.
Okay, gentlemen, first thoughts then.
Go away, I'll let you go first, mate.
Yeah, look, we were really unlucky, weren't we? On any other night, you know, that goal isn't going to go in for them. That Bamford goal is not going to be offside. That Coote header is going to go in. So you take it as just one of them nights and you move on. I think we played really well. I think we looked much more balanced. I was pleased overall. It was just a result I wasn't pleased with.
Sam?
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, it was good, but I was frustrated, and I still am a bit, to be honest. It felt a bit sort of how some of our championship games went, where we have multiple chances and just can't quite finish them. So it's a bit annoying on that front. But on a different day, it's a completely different game. Their freak goal doesn't go in. Bamford's knee hair isn't offside, and Costa puts that chance away later on. And you know, obviously the numerous Cooper headers go in. So yeah, it is positive for me. And we did play well. It's a lot more like us, and they've got some ridiculously good players, haven't they? It's fine for me. Just annoying we couldn't get anything from it.
Yeah, I can't believe Bamford left his knee hair offside.
It was his hand one time. Now it's his fucking knee. God's sake.
Terrible.
Watching it live and play through, I straight away was like, oh, it's offside.
Yeah, miles.
And then he fires it in, and you're like, well, it was still a brilliant finish, so well done. But I was like, he's offside, so you know we move on. And then you watch it again back on the replay, and you're like, you've seen him give it ante you both ways. So,
I mean, there's some kind of remarkable metamorphosis that Bamford has gone through, because I don't remember him being such a fantastic finisher. I remember that there was one game against Preston where he absolutely spanked it. I think from just outside the area, and that was a brilliant finish. But I'd never really seen him. And now all of a sudden he's fucking Ronaldo or something.
I know a lot of his finishes used to be from quite close range, didn't they? Or like scrappy finishes from like 2 yards out. But that finish against Wolves. Fuck me, what a finish! He's done that a few times this season against Villa. He just can move the ball so fucking fast by not moving his leg that fast at all. And the ball just cannons off his foot, and it's just so direct and straight. But didn't count, so fuck it.
Yeah, it reminded me of that Leicester finish where he just absolutely wallops the ball and then it went, and it was going nowhere else but the net. And you're right, I think last season that would have gone anywhere but the net. I don't know what's happened to him, but it's absolutely brilliant to see.
Yeah, I love it.
So, me first thoughts, I'm quite sanguine, and that's my word of the day.
Is that a fruit? Is that a fruit or cake? A sanguini?
Johnny, tell us what it means. Educate us.
Yeah, so it means optimistic or positive, especially in an apparently bad or difficult situation.
Okay.
So not a fruit then.
Yeah.
Not a fruit, no. It sounds like it'd be tasty though.
Yeah,
Sanguine.
it does, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. Yeah.
Proper juicy.
Yeah, I was thinking about juicy.
Yeah, things that surprised me, I guess, initially, 4-4-2, essentially, or 4-4-1-1. And never thought I'd see the day that Bielsa moved to a 4-4-2. I remember asking Phil Hay about it, and he said, I think, the hell will freeze over, or whatever, before Bielsa plays a 4-4-2. But we played 4-4-2. And we have this element of Brexit football as well, which is lumping the ball into the
Get it in the mixer, mate.
Yeah, getting it in the mixer, getting the big lads up from the back.
If 2021 had been crazy already,
Yeah.
yes, it's now playing 4-4-2.
Fully embracing Brexit, isn't he? But yeah,
It's like one of those that meme where the guy is checking out, he's with his girlfriend and he's checking out the other girl behind him. That's like, Bielsa is, with his 3-3-1-3, in reinventing football. And then he's like turning around, oh, Brexit football.
You loved it though, didn't you? You really enjoyed it.
I did, yeah, I did.
To be honest, I quite enjoyed seeing as well that we didn't move the team around a ridiculous amount. We sort of, especially keeping the back four, as we've known in the past 5 games, it didn't really work too much against Arsenal. It's good to see that he's actually, willing to change that up and go back to a bit more settled back four and not just have so many changes across the pitch that sort of unbalances. And like you said before, we did look a lot more balanced, I think.
Yeah.
I thought it was the right lineup. Like when you looked at first on paper, you're like, oh, I'm not sure. But actually, when you watch the game play out, it was just, as you say, good to have that back four back settled. I know it swapped, obviously, Alioski for Dallas, but I think it was the right decision and it just looked much more solid at the back.
Yeah, we've been crying out for that, hadn't we? Ayling, Strouk, Cooper, Dallas at the back.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
There's not a chant for that, is there? It's not
with
quite.
Strouk, it's quite a mouthful with Strouk, isn't it?
Yeah.
You've got the weekend to think of one.
Yeah, it's just that. I mean, it's a great chant, but we don't have Pontus Jansson or Kyle Bartley anymore.
Yeah, that was great about that chant, wasn't
it? just sign them back so you've got a chant.
Yeah, why not?
They'll have to like to get in the mixer. Lump it forward to them like we play now. They'll get their heads on it.
Yeah,
done. I'm back 5 full of meatheads.
No, I thought like as shit as Wolves have been recently, they're a great team. They're a team full of enormously talented players who got to the Europa League quarter-final as recently as August last year. So I think we've done, especially without Phillips, when we've looked like not very sturdy at the back when he isn't there. We looked fantastic. I mean, Cooper played so well at the back. I thought Strouk was good again. Ayling, we look a different team when he plays right back. And Dallas as well always just looks much more. I always feel more comfortable with Dallas at left back than Alioski. Let's put it that way.
Calmer head, let's say.
Yeah. And with that, I've gone on a real journey with Dallas. I didn't like him like probably 2 seasons ago, pre-Bielsa, and probably Bielsa's first season. I just want a fan. Like, he just didn't float my boat. And like, definitely this season and definitely last season, you just could not play him. He would move him and put him where he needed to get him in the team. And I can totally see why.
Yeah. I think there was almost an element as well of him not really fitting in because he was a winger, but he was an okay winger, and he's not Bielsa's type of winger, I don't think. And he's just, like I say, gone on a bit of a transformation, and he can just play any position now. And like you say, he's one of the first names on the team sheet for me because he'll give you everything. And he's scored some important goals as well. A couple of goals like that Scum one, absolute world. It didn't mean anything, but he can do a bit of everything, and that's his role now, Mr. Versatile. Whereas before he was just left winger or not bad left winger, but yeah, he's so versatile and he's good in many positions, isn't he?
Yeah, it's the playoff semi-final, funnily enough, for me. That was the game that I was like, wow, Dallas is just unstoppable here. And he's if anyone's going to do it, it's Dallas.
Yeah, I think he imagine that. He looked like a man on a mission, didn't he? He's like, fuck this, I'm going to win this on my own. You can all go sit in the stands, I'll do it myself. Yeah.
And he hasn't looked back since, really.
No, he hasn't. He hasn't.
You can tell he enjoys it as well. You can tell he's a really good professional. I can imagine he's a good leader as well in the dressing room, and especially with the younger lads, you can tell he's quite a mature, level-headed player, and he seems like a nice guy as well, doesn't he?
Yeah, I mean, results make a big difference, don't they? So I think everyone, like a lot of people, were quite upset after last night's game because of the result, and it's a bit like that playoff semi-final when Dallas played so well and scored, and it kind of didn't mean that much because it was so heartbreaking. And it's the same thing with when he scored that worldie of a goal at Old Trafford, which if we'd have got a result, we'd be fucking singing songs about it.
I don't think I've seen that back once, actually.
You were Dallas. You scored a fucking great goal. You know what I mean? We'd be fucking singing about it in 20 years' time if we'd have won that game.
Yeah, it's such a shame that goal didn't mean more because it was a fucking worldie. And like I said, I didn't watch the highlights back. I couldn't bear it, so I'm not seeing that goal back. But I just remember it being a fucking worldie.
I haven't seen it back either. There's another bit of homework this weekend. You can get a Dallas chant going on the back of his own fucking goal. Like nothing.
Yeah. Okay, so I've got a little segment here entitled "Funny Things That Happened During the Game." It's not very catchy.
I like it.
I'll admit.
We work on the name, but I like it.
Yeah.
So there was one point that tickled me. Shackleton gave away a free kick, and then he turned around and he had an absolute fistful of himself.
I missed that.
Yeah. As it as well. What, was he just having a rejiggle, or?
I don't know if something had
He enjoyed the tackle, maybe? Enjoyed it quite a bit. Well, that's a good one, wasn't it?
I totally went by me that one.
Yeah.
I was very surprised, I was just, it was like, whoa. Shackleton.
He's going through puberty, bless him. He's got so many thoughts running through his head.
Right. Yeah, that's it. Maybe they just dropped.
Yeah. Mid-game.
Yeah. You just never know. I don't think we need to know either. I feel like we're already in too much information territory.
I'm not sure how this new segment's going, to be fair.
No, not so well. Like most of the podcasts. There was another point where they zoomed in on Nuno and he was doing something very strange with his tongue.
Yeah, I think he maybe just had a pill, maybe just going raving on the evening, maybe just double dropped just before the end
because they got the result.
Yeah.
He looked like a fucking lizard.
He looked intense, didn't he, when they zoomed him on him?
Yeah, it was just chewing on a fly that he just caught, like. Weird, man.
That's a good first, that, Dolly.
That bit of the segment's much better.
Did you see where, maybe a bit to add to this, did you see where they gave 5 minutes in extra time and they zoomed in on Pablo and he was just pissing himself, but the referee sarcastically laughing at him? Did any of you see that?
Yeah.
He was just like
that as well.
that was funny. That he was just like, "Are you fucking shitting me?" Because the substitutions alone added a couple of minutes, let alone the whole time wasted, and he just found that hilarious. And then I in turn found that hilarious as well.
So it was a good 15-20 minutes of them basically just time wasting, taking it to the corner, Or
They started taking it to the corner really early. Or was that me? I was like, what?
Yeah.
Already? You're that desperate for these points? For God's sake.
booking their taxis, their tax appointment, but while they're getting the ball for the throw in. I'll just be a minute, ref. Just be a minute.
Queuing for the COVID vaccinations to get that one.
Every time we got a free kick, there was one of their players arguing with the referee and standing really close to the ball, so we couldn't take it quickly, but then taking 30 seconds to move back 10 steps.
And every time they had a corner as well, and this was like pretty much after they scored, whenever they got a corner and they had someone short to collect it, we obviously brought someone in to close them down. Had more than enough to, like I'm about to say, I think it's 10 yards you've got to be from the corner, isn't it? And they were just crying every time, but maybe Stewie Dallas or whoever was closing it down was stood there like, I'm far enough away, and they're like, no, get further away, crying for the ref, screaming, and it's like,
pointing at him, ref!
Yeah, and he's like, Stewie Dallas is stood there where he should be, doing nothing wrong, and it's just like, how is that not a yellow for doing that shit? You're like, if you are deliberately time wasted to that point, give them a yellow, and you do that early doors when they start doing that. They don't do that. Yeah. It frustrates the hell out of me when refs let that shit go, because it ruins the last 30 minutes of that game with just them doing it over and over again because they knew they could get away with it.
I remember, right, there was a survey done of football fans, and I think this was in the 2000s, early 2000s. We're in the 2000s. Great start to this sentence. Okay, let's keep going with it.
Just carry on like you haven't made that mistake. Carry on.
And football fans were saying that, I think it was time wasting. I can't remember what the other thing was, but like time wasting was the number one a grievance, and poor refereeing probably. So time wasting and poor refereeing.
The second one was Sam Allardyce being appointed your manager.
Right, yeah, that's it. Sam Allardyce's face. The two things wrong with football. So in order to stop that, they brought in VAR to check if your fucking nose hair is offside.
Let's make football more fun.
It's ridiculous, isn't it? I mean, this isn't a new problem. People have been talking about getting annoyed about time wasting for decades. There was a problem with the handball rule. They changed it in 1 week.
After us as well.
Yeah. How can they change something in 1 week and it take decades for something else to change?
I think the ref, he just buys it so easily sometimes as well. Like it's so obvious as a fan watching it what they're trying to do. But I don't know if the ref's just like, I don't know if he's just letting the game go or what, but he has to step in and intervene. It's so fucking annoying.
Yeah.
Just give him a fucking yellow.
Right.
Fucking yellow, though.
Another thing that pissed me off, they had 2 men at their corners. What's that all about? Oh, I wonder if it's an in-swinger. I wonder if it's going to be an out-swinger. This is going to make a big difference.
Then 10 seconds before he took it, he just walked off anyway and then took it. Fair enough if you're running up and like, ooh, which way is it going to be? But it's like, walk off and take it. Pointless.
I know what this is. I know what it is, right? It's set piece instructor or set piece coach or whatever. There's somebody who's being overpaid for something and who's feeling like they've got to justify their role.
Lads, I've got this great new tactic, right? We put 2 people on the corner, but 1 person doesn't do a fucking thing.
He's going to write a book about it. 2 men on the corner. An autobiography.
Number 1 bestseller, I can see it now.
I think we look more assured at corners at the minute. Would you agree?
Oh, fuck
yes.
Yeah. We just look so much more assured defensively and definitely attacking balls into the box, both from a corner free kick. We just look poles apart from where we were just a few weeks ago as well, to be fair, hasn't it?
Yeah.
It kind of just tipped over now, but we look so much better, and it's like they've worked on it and sorted out what we've been shouting about for weeks and weeks and weeks. So it doesn't fill me with as much dread anymore when someone's got a corner, and definitely doesn't fill me with dread when they've got two people on a corner.
I don't know.
I think
Wolves are shorter than some of the other teams. I don't know, because they've got a few. They've got Cody and all that.
That size as well is massive.
Yeah. But what I noticed was Cooper and Strouk look like they're getting onto the ball a lot in both boxes. And Melier catching it. None of this punching, none of this flapping. Remember when I painted him as a superhero with a cape and fucking, because he was just leaping like a fucking salmon here and there, punching it like fucking Superman. Dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun. It was catching it. It was brilliant.
Yeah, I think that makes a difference, though, doesn't it? Having Melier attacking it and having someone like Strouk as well, who is an absolute meathead. He's absolutely massive. He's strong. Having two people like that come and attack the ball is a huge difference. And I know before we had Koch, but I really, really enjoy Strouk, and especially, like you say, from corners. And so what are you laughing at, Tony?
Sorry. I didn't hear it because he's been injured, so I haven't heard a cock joke in a while. You know, it's just tickled me a bit, that, you know.
Cock's tickled you, is it?
I know that before we had cock. That's what he said, and then that was it. That was enough.
No longer.
Terrible.
But that's a good point, though. When Koch does come back and the renter, is Strouk gonna come out the team? Well, I'd say Strouk and Cooper keep the place until one of them is out of form. Because if Phillips gets injured, either Koch or the renter, they've played in defensive mid before, haven't they? But it's just even more positivity for us when we've got the renter Spanish international injured, Koch German international injured, Rodrigo Spain international injured, Phillips England international injured, and we're still defending well and playing well against, like you say, a well-established team like Wolves. So when they come back in, apart from Phillips, who's a walk-in? I don't think any of them are really. They'll have to earn it, won't they?
Well, when they come back in, we're going to win the league, aren't we?
Yeah.
The treble, I think it was.
Where's the Europa League final held next year? Anyone know? Let's book the hotels now. Get them cheap.
I do believe on Pancakes, on the last maincast, Barney had the idea that we were going to win the treble next season. Ross agreed, and I thought that was a fantastic idea as well. So all three of us, and now it's you two as well, I guess.
Can we do a quad? Is there a quad?
Treble it is.
Europe, FA Cup.
We're not getting into Europe, mate.
Carling Cup.
That's why I don't care about the results anymore. I've had enough. We're mid-table now. We're mid-table. There's nothing to play for. I know it's been a while since it's been like that.
Give me that sweet 15th place.
Yeah, remember that?
I missed that.
Was it Heckingbottom? I think it was. That was the last time. So 13. There was nothing to play for. But even then, it was like we'd done quite well earlier in the season with Thomas Christiansen. It was a bit of a slow death, and we felt like we could do better. But still, that we were in mid-table. There's nothing to. It doesn't matter anymore. It doesn't matter if we win. It doesn't matter if we lose. Honestly,
we can just enjoy the ride.
Yeah. Finally, for such a long time, the pressure has been on. You know, in the championship, we've got to win fucking every game. If we don't win, oh my God, we're never going to get promoted. It's been 16 years already.
I just hope, there is nothing to play for, but you just hope we play well and climb the league a little bit and play like there is something to play for. That's all you can ask for. The pressure's off. And generally, when the pressure's off, they play better football, like most teams do. So I hope that's what we see, and I hope we see some good results. And as you said, mid-table would be fab.
Yeah, brilliant.
That's absolutely fine. That's absolutely fine. I'm fine with mid-table.
Yeah, we're not going to get into Europe now. I don't think. I think that's
don't ruin that dream for me.
unless we go on some
ruin
kind
that
of
dream.
crazy run, but the teams that we've got to play, especially in April.
Yeah, that's a hard month, isn't it?
So I think I think that's probably not achievable. And we're definitely not getting relegated. So it's fine. Everyone can just relax a bit, I think.
I think if we were somewhere near the bottom, around like Fulham or West Brom, I think last night would have pissed me off a lot more because we should have scored. But like you said, because we're fine, aren't we? Like, it's annoying that we didn't score, but it is fine, and we can experiment a bit with the team and see how far we can push it, because we've done the hard work now, haven't we? Really, getting to this stage, it was a hard slog, but we've done it, and yeah, just pressure's off, like you said. And it's going to be interesting to see how the rest of the season pans out, because, like you said, for us fans as well, I'm relaxed watching games now. Like, it's not happened in such a long time, and I'm absolutely loving it. You just sat there, like you say, like a little crackhead waiting for his next hit, just like, oh, we're gonna score, we're gonna concede, fuck. Just there rocking on your table and your bench, just. But yeah, no, it's fine. It's fine. Tell me it's fine.
we focus on getting enjoying the rest of this season, and I think the delightful thing is we're going to be in the Premier League next year, and let's focus and hope to God that we get back in the stadium so that we can see Leeds in the Premier League at Ellen Road.
Yeah,
that's what everyone wants.
With Marcelo, in the dugout, preferably.
Yes,
and please a testimonial for Pablo.
Oh God,
yeah.
Needs it.
Yeah, it was a brilliant performance. I think this added element of Brexit football to the fusion of Brexit football and Bielsa ball is that, honestly, that performance last night, that has filled me with so much confidence. I feel like if we continue like that, we can really do something in the next couple of years. So, man of the match then.
For me, it was Liam Cooper. I thought he was absolutely immense, and someone who's come under a lot of scrutiny recently. And I think he's keep on proving people wrong. I thought he was absolutely brilliant. He was aggressive. He nicked in front of players well. His passing was a bit off sometimes, but I think he and Strouk especially restricted them to long shots, and that's a hell of a credit to have, because they've got some dangerous players, and their striker, I don't even know his name, but he didn't do a fucking thing last night, did he? And that was Cooper's man, and he restricted him to absolutely now. So yeah, it's Liam Cooper for me. I thought it was a brilliant performance, strong and aggressive, and what you need from him and what he's good at.
Wiggy?
For me, it was probably a surprising one, but it was Tyler Roberts, and I think just because he played the full 90, I think he played well for 90 minutes. He got himself around the pitch, he buzzed around. He hasn't had too many opportunities to come in and play from the start, especially recently. So I think to come into a game like this and actually play really well, I was delighted with Roberts.
He also knocked Coote out, which I enjoyed.
Yeah.
Shut him up for 5 minutes, didn't it?
When they stopped play for that, I was like, for God's sake.
Yeah.
It's so obvious what he was doing, wasn't it?
100%.
Yeah. The other thing was Strouk. Didn't Strouk go down with some kind of head injury and we just played on? He
just got back up, didn't he? And ran back.
He did that thing to do where they have a sly look to see which way the game's going. Yeah. All right, I'll get back up now.
Yeah. For me, I think Cooper as well, but special mention to Meslier. He did his job. He bounced back after a fairly indifferent performance against Arsenal, which you have to say cost us the game. You can't.
It wasn't indifferent against Arsenal. It was crap.
It was crap. It was terrible.
Nothing indifferent about it.
No, it's just I feel bad for him because you've got all these football dads coming on Twitter, basically saying that we need to get a new keeper, and it was just. It wasn't that kind of performance, and he's 20 years old. Yeah. If that had been consistent throughout the year, then yeah, of course. But pretty much his one bad game.
Yeah, literally
beaten at the near post at Arsenal. He definitely didn't look like he was going to get beaten at all last night, and it was so unlucky for the goal, just to bounce off the. You can't do anything about that.
No.
And yeah, bounce off the back of his head. But I thought Cooper was absolutely outstanding. He's taken so much stick. He took it in the Championship when he was League One Liam. He's taken it in the Premier League when he was Championship Liam.
He's getting better.
And now, you know, a couple of seasons' time, it's going to be we're in the Champions League, and people are going to be like, "Oh, he's Premier League Liam, not good enough for the Champions League." And then probably we'll go on and win it, and he'll score the winner. So
stick that up, yeah.
He played well the last few games, hasn't he?
He has.
He's looked really, really self-assured and really structured the defence how you would want your captain to do that. So yeah, no, I think he's been great. I agree with you.
He's always been good at sort of organising the other players and being a mouthpiece for that. But he's led by example in the last few games, which is, and we've looked a threat into their box. Anybody else? Anyone else played well? Were there any negatives? Were there any negatives at all? I think Strouk probably could have maybe, you know, just wiped Traore out. I think that was probably the only.
Yeah, he's so fucking fast though, isn't he? And he was drifting in from the wing time and time again, and he is absolutely rapid.
Yeah.
So he's very, very hard to contain, and you got him running at you. He's a unit, isn't he? But he's so fast as well, and he's coming in off the wing. It's going to be, I don't know. You just imagine him running towards you. But
I'd be running the other way.
Yeah, exactly. You'd be shitting yourself, wouldn't you?
It would be. Yes, Mr. Adama, sir. And,
you would like the score?
Yeah.
Go ahead, my sir. Cup of tea after the game as well, perhaps.
Yeah, but I thought he could have tried to show him onto his left foot, because that's his weaker side.
Yeah.
And I think he could have maybe tried to take him out. But I've looked back at it, and my initial thought was, Ayling and Cooper and Dallas were standing on the edge of our box. And I thought, you know, maybe at least Cooper could have gone out and tried to close him down and try to block the shot. But to be fair, it all happened so quickly, and Wolves had extra men in the situation, and it was all like Dallas and Ayling and Cooper had their eyes on those men. So.
Look, the main negative for me was the result, and that's, I think, says everything you need to know about last night's game. The result was the negative. We had 11 players who I think played really well and didn't deserve what they got. That would be my view. Okay,
ref, he was a bit of a cunt, wasn't he?
Fucking hell, yeah, he was, wasn't he? He just looks a bit weird as well, doesn't he? Just go. Some refs have just a fucking weird look, and he just looked gormless and stoned all game, didn't he?
Yeah, Coote. It's Coote. We've touched on this before. He's got an enormous ass, and he walks like that, like almost like a duck.
I've never noticed his ass.
He also he had a stupid look on his face as well, like kind of a perpetual smile, like he'd eaten some hash cookies or something.
Yeah,
and he was just giggling to himself the whole time.
He just looked on, didn't he? He looked gorgeous. You look like when you go past a coffee shop in Amsterdam, you just see him sat in the window. But instead, he's reffing a fucking Premier League game.
Carry on, boys.
Yeah. Choking a pancake.
Probably why he didn't notice any of the time wasting either, because he's so fucking relaxed.
Yeah, that did genuinely annoy me. Like I said, he needs to nip that in the bud early doors, because you set that, and it was like when the first person went down with a head injury. I know they've got to stop the game, but it's so obvious what they're doing. And they were like, oh, fuck, we can do this again. Did it again. Cody did it again. And then they were like, oh, we'll bring on the substitution. No, actually, we won't. Oh, we'll bring it on. Oh, he needs treatment. No, he doesn't. It's just like all that shit. Like, you can nip that in the bud early doors because it's blatant what they're doing. But once you don't and let it go once, and then they only got the first yellow card for it in, the 91st minute or something. They were doing it for half an hour. Like, book them early doors, and then the flow of the game's better as well. Disappointing, but
yeah,
that's how teams have to win against us. That's how they have to win against us. Can't play us off the park, can you?
Okay, now I've got a little new segment just to kind of wrap this up before we do our final thoughts. So on Twitter, I put out a picture and it says post-match thoughts on it. And we just thought we'd read a couple out. Wiggy, are you able to do this? Or probably not?
Probably not.
Okay.
You read them out and I'll comment.
Okay. All right, let's do that. And Sam, you can read them out as well.
Yes.
All right. So I'll go first then. Laura Kenny has put all in capitals, it was onside.
Can't argue with that. I loved it.
Yeah, it was onside. I think, like I said earlier in the segment, I think the you see him where the given and not given. When I first watched it, I was like, oh, he's offside. But then obviously you look at the replays and he's on.
I've got one from Chris McGee at McGee's at 87. I'm going to hit myself over the head with a fucking spade. So,
yeah, don't do that because we play Southampton very soon and I want you to be able to watch that.
Right. Some good advice there from Wiki. Leach at George Leach. The ref was wank also.
I think we've covered this already and we're all in agreement. The ref was wank. He let them time waste. Yeah, not a great performance from the ref.
Got one here from Hannah at Hannah Brad. Simply says pain, full stop.
Yeah, it was a painful result, but we take the positives out of it, that we had some good performances there, but the result is painful.
This one comes from Sam Hubie. Those fine margins in the Premier League. Thought we were punished, and rightly so, for our self-inflicted mistakes. So more than enough to be content with our display. On to Southampton.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I think I didn't see a plethora of mistakes. I saw, a lucky goal for them. I've seen the marginal things didn't go our way. The Bamford offside onside. So yeah, I took a lot from the game in terms of I thought we played well. I thought we were self-assured. It was a marginal result for them, and it went their way. And any other night or other nights, it'll go our way. It swings and roundabouts.
We've got one from Mine66 at Mine66. Should have got a point from it. Cry emoji.
Yeah, at least a point. The last the Costa shot at the end would give us that point. So I think he's right. We should have at least got a point. I think if you look at the stats and everything else, we should have had more than a point. But look, as I've just said, you win some, you lose some, and it just wasn't our night. It was fine margins, and we were really unlucky last night.
Excellent. Somebody else who thinks we should have got a point, Patrick Bamford. Robbed of a point.
Oh, yeah.
We agree with you, Paddy. Another legitimate goal.
Yes.
So, right then, I think we've all come to an agreement, which is always nice. So, final thoughts then.
For me, yeah, I am more positive than I was last night about it. It was nice to see Strouk back at centre back. It was nice to see us switch up our play, like you say, play a bit more Brexit. And yeah, it's a shame. It's a shame we didn't take anything from it, of course. But we're at a stage now in the season where performances, I think, are more important than points. We've worked hard at the start of the season, won points, fought hard, and now it's just about expressing themselves and enjoying the football. And yeah, on another night, we take something from that. On another night, a free goal for them doesn't hit off the back of Melier. Cooper scores one of them point blank headers. Yeah, and it's fine. If the performance wasn't there last night, I would have been worried, but it was more than there. So, yeah, it's fine. It just goes down on them Premier League losses. Yeah.
Yeah, just reminding me that I mean, there was loads that we didn't talk about, but we're already at like 45 minutes, I think. I think it gets a bit much now. We could probably talk all day about this game.
Yeah, a lot to talk about.
I mean, there was the Costa chance that we didn't even talk about.
Yeah.
I mean, just put it either side of the keeper, mate. Come on.
I don't think he was expecting for it to fall to him, though. I was surprised. It looked like the defender just got in front of him, and then he just turned and had the ball at his feet. He was just like, was not expecting it.
Yeah, it was a little bit under his feet, wasn't it?
Anywhere but at the keeper.
Yeah, he snatched at it a bit. It's under his feet. To be fair to him, we'll have to be fair. We're going to be very fair to all the Leeds players today. A lot of love.
Yes.
Okay, final thoughts from you then, Wiggy.
I think. Sorry, let's start again. I think Sam has summed it up perfectly. We take loads of positives from the game, and I don't think there's much else to add. The one negative is the result. Any other night, you're getting something at least a point, maybe 3. But the performance was there, and we've got players coming back now, hopefully in the next game or certainly the game after, that will strengthen an already decent looking team in terms of our performance. So I only look at the positives. We've got the turnaround is really quick now to Southampton, which I think stands us in really good stead to hopefully get 3 points from that on the ice rink at Ellen Road.
Nice. Yep. I was just about to say that. Southampton next. So Leicester and Scum have beat them 9-0 in the previous 2 seasons. So, I mean, we should be beating them by more than that, shouldn't we?
18?
18.
Yeah.
We're at least
minimum.
Yeah, minimum. Otherwise, you're shit and fuck off. Get out of our club.
Sell him.
Right, yeah. So hope you've enjoyed that match review. It's probably the most positive match review we've had after a defeat. But I think it's more reliant on the performance, really, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Excellent performance by the boys, and that's all we can ask for. So very goodbye from me, and you can catch me at The Adelites on Twitter. You can catch the Roaring Peacock at Peacock's Roar on Twitter as well. And it's a very goodbye from at Sam Ward LUFC.
Goodbye, everyone. Enjoy your weekend.
Enjoy it. Be happy. And it's very goodbye from our chairman of the board at Wiki1234.
Goodbye. Yeah. Have a good weekend, everyone.
1, 2, 3, 4. Never have more. Goodbye.
See you later.
Bye.
Most of our stats come from LUFC Stats or LUFC Data on Twitter. A very special thanks to Barney Stewart, Coote, Ewan and Howard Metcalf, Josh Pearson, Laura, Leon and Rob, The Light Show, and all our family and friends.
So many games to play, don't care what's on your mind.